Your brute strength alone will not be enough to destroy Ares. Only one item in the world will allow you to defeat a god. Pandora's box.
Wait, so how was Kratos able to kill Persephone and Charon if he didn't have the power to kill a god? Wait a second, didn't Kratos pick up Triton's lance and chains of Olympus that made him breathe underwater? Why does he need Poseidon's Triton all of a sudden? Well, that will be answered in this video. Hi, I'm Dog of War, but for simplicity call me Dennis. In this video I will be talking about two things that seem like a plot hole in the PSP game God of War Chains of Olympus. But first, some basic information about Chains of Olympus. It came out on the 8th of March 2008 and it's chronologically placed between God of War Ascension and God of War 1, during Kratos' 10 years of servitude to the gods of Olympus in hopes to rid himself from the nightmares of his past. It is truly amazing that Ready at Dawn was able to give a full-on God of War game instead of a 2D side-scroller as they intended, in case the PSP wasn't powerful enough for a 3D God of War game. It's honestly worth a try, and if you're like me who doesn't own a PS3 or PSP or even a valid debit card to purchase PS Now, you can still use an emulator. Of course not, because downloading a ROM is illegal. Anyway, let's get to the topic of this video, answering the two questions that came into existence after the release of God of War Chains of Olympus. Let's start with the shorter one. Triton's lance, as the name implies, is the lance of the titan Triton, and it's found in the caves of Olympus, in a kind of unnecessary underwater section. Honestly, they could have just removed all the swimming and it would have been the same game. But that's not why I'm making this video. After defeating Persephone and chaining Atlas to the world, Kratos rides the sun chariot back up to return the sun to its place. After doing that, he falls asleep. Or unconscious. I really don't know which it is, but the important thing is that he's falling from the sky. But before hitting the ground, Athena and Helios stop his fall and take away the sun shield and the gauntlet of Zeus. And it's safe to assume that they also took some other things, like the Ifrit, Charon's wrath, and of course Triton's lance, which explains why he needed Poseidon's trident in God of War 1. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the reason you probably clicked on this video. One of the main criticisms Chains gets is that it undermines the story of God of War 1 by making Kratos able to kill Persephone and Charon, and I kind of get it. The whole reason Kratos needed Pandora's box was to kill Ares, a god. By making him have the power to kill a god in a prequel would contradict that. But only if he were to keep that power. So which item that Athena and Helios took away could have the potential to kill a god? I think it's the gauntlet of Zeus. If it's powerful enough to chain the titans to the underworld, then it must be strong enough to kill a god. And let's take a look at Persephone's death.
Your suffering will never end, Ghost of Sparta.
Kratos charges at her and punches her into the stomach with the gauntlet. She then loses all her armor, and shortly after giving a last "fuck you," she explodes. Pretty clear. He used the gauntlet to kill her. And a sign that it is indeed the gauntlet that makes Kratos capable of killing a god is the fight against Charon. The first fight goes not that well for our favorite Spartan, but after getting back with the gauntlet, the ferryman's future doesn't look good. Kratos gains the upper hand and successfully kills Charon with his own scythe, dismembering his torso from the rest of his body. But wait, he isn't dead yet. He just proceeds to fight as a torso. So Kratos beats the living crap out of Charon with the gauntlet, which finally kills him. Charon not dying from his scythe could be an indication that the only way for Kratos to kill a god at that time was using the gauntlet of Zeus. And think about it again. Kratos was able to chain Atlas to the world, and he didn't have the power of a god yet. So the gauntlet of Zeus has the same power no matter who wields it. So yeah, this is my theory on why Kratos was able to kill Persephone and Charon, and why he needed Poseidon's trident in God of War 1. If you have anything to say about it, leave a comment. If you liked this video, leave a like, and I hope you have a good time. Bye!